2K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
The fans are filling the seats out in Boston, the site of our broadcast, and where the Celtics will be going up against the Memphis Grizzlies. And for Memphis, they haven't forgotten the fact that this team swept them last year in the regular season. This is a game they had circled going in. And we'll see two of the league's best defensive teams. Kenny, when you were playing.
The blue line making its way out of the station are setting tonight, Boston, Massachusetts. Welcome to 2K. And a chance now to take a look at some numbers for Rondo.
And in the last 5 games, he's made a bunch of hustle plays on the glass more than anywhere else. His rebounding totals in these games shows a dramatic increase from his numbers during the rest of the season.
Now look at Memphis's starting group. They've got Marc Gasol. Zach Randolph is out there with Rudy Gay. Then it's Conley and it's Allen in at the 2-guard spot. And for the Celtics, we've got Garnett, Allen out there with Rajon Rondo. Then there's Shaquille O'Neal. And it's Pierce in at the small forward position.
2K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
The 2K Sports pregame show.
The Celtics strutting through the tunnel earlier on. The Boston faithful wait. And let's look at the last handful of seasons and the steal numbers for Rondo.
And his steal numbers have taken a big jump these past few seasons. He's dedicating himself at the defensive end with a lot more energy, and it's made him a matchup that opponents truly have to worry about. He can do some damage with his D.
And the starting group for the Grizzlies. They've got Marc Gasol. Allen is out there with Conley. Then it's Zach Randolph. And it's Gay in at the 3 spot. And for Boston, we've got Allen. Pierce out there with Garnett. And it's Rajon Rondo. And it's Shaq in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. And so Conley will bring the ball up for the Grizzlies. Allen outside. He feeds it to Gay. Solid play on the low block, and that one's good. And Bill, of the championships you've watched the Celtics win, do you have a favorite?
I do, actually. 1984, came back against the Lakers in the Kevin McHale clothesline game. Brought them back to the Garden for Game 5. It was so hot, Kareem had to wear the oxygen mask. And then finished them off in Game 7.
Rambis was the recipient of that clothesline,
He was,
yes.
and he deserved it. It's not like he didn't deserve it. But the Celtics were just tougher that year. And I try to forget that the next year they came back and beat the Celtics.
Now here's Rondo after the Marc Gasol miss, and he comes up with the deuce.
Yeah, Rondo just working the ball around there. He loves finding his teammates when they're open in the sweet spots.
Allen outside. Gay outside. Over Garnett. Garnett with the block. And now in transition is Pierce. Here we go.
Wow. Trying to challenge Gasol, big-time two-way player. He gets it done on both ends.
And blocked. That one goes careening off the glass. Second chance shot. But they'll get another chance.
Look, he's a tough fella to deal with when he gets below the free throw line.
Celtics have gone 3 of 5 shooting the ball so far. Rondo against Conley. Garnett wide open. Hits the front of the rim and out.
Now, that's one of the few times they'll get away with leaving him that wide open.
Allen against Allen. From 13. Rebounded by the Celtics. And this is the first season matchup for them against the Grizzlies.
And last season, they made short work of this club. 2 games, 2 wins.
Yeah, Greg, it makes sense. I mean, when you look at where they both finished, there's a reason one team was in the playoffs and the other one was on vacation.
And when Garnett gets it that deep, the D is at his mercy. How about the extension when he's able to get up on that low block?
Now here's Gay. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against New Orleans. Outside Randolph. Pass to Allen. 4 on the shot clock. Gasol trying to free himself up. Allen's shot is off. And it's Rondo with the ball for the Boston Celtics. Bill, you wear so many hats, writing, producing, performing. You're running the ringer, which is highly successful. What role satisfies you the most?
I would say working with young people and trying to help them get better. I think that's the coolest thing you can do, especially if you feel like you've done some good stuff and accomplished some things and realized some dreams. Like the next thing to do is just to, can you help other people get to where they should go?
Well, a lot of this wasn't around when you and I were growing up. So
No.
what were your dreams?
My dream initially was just to write a sports column that people read.
In the
That's what
Globe.
I wanted forever, yeah. And then the most satisfying thing is just not knowing what's next, but taking chances and hoping things are going to be fun and work out. You have to have a good team around you, and you have to have like 6 or 7 awesome people that you completely trust who can help you do stuff, because it's impossible to do everything yourself, especially if you're trying to increase the scale of what you're doing. And I think that even works for an NBA organization. You know, it's not like one person running everything. I would say putting a good team around you is the most important thing.
And a chance now to see how teams are faring across the league. Here's the latest edition of the Power Rankings. As you look at Memphis, they're gaining on some of the teams above them, trying hard to crack into that top 5.
And you know, for Boston, they've blown away the so-called experts' opinions. People who didn't realize how high their ceiling really was.
Allen finds Pierce. Celtics passing it around. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. It's on Tony Allen. The Celtics shooting their first free throws of the game. Second free throw, no good. The Grizzlies trail by 8. And here is Conley, coming off a stellar performance against New Orleans. Back to Gay. And that one's good. His second basket of 4, shooting 50%.
Oh, the floor's general skills of Conley. I mean, he has a fantastic feel for when his teammates need the rock.
Pass to Garnett. Ball's knocked loose. Stolen by Randolph. Allen again. Stallion. Gay in the corner. Jacks up a 3. He made that one. Basket number 3 for him. He's also missed 2. Bill, you look at the awards given out by the league. Most have been around for a while. But is there any award that you'd like to add? Something that's not being touched on in terms of high performance and success?
I think that there should be a playoff MVP. I made this case in my book that
a great idea.
There's always like a best guy in every postseason, and I would like to see who that would be. And it's pretty easy to go backwards and figure out who it was. I did that. Just go backwards and have all the backstory of who it should have been, but then going forward, now here are the ones we're adding. I would like to see that. I would also like to see a best bench celebration award, because certain teams just have these guys. They're good at pointing, they're good at fist pumping, first guy during the timeout running over,
chest bumps,
they have handshakes,
all of it. Yeah,
they're waiting at the scorer's table before the game to do the special handshake with each guy. I feel like that guy deserves some shine. Last year, DeAndre Jordan, I think, was one of the first guys I remember who was just great at this before he started playing. Late 2000s clips. I was like, man, this guy's really, he's not playing, but he's really
into it.
How to affect the game.
Good. Pierce for 3. Allen with the rebound.
The defense has done a good job of forcing him into tough shots this quarter.
Inside, Gasol. A second chance effort. It's blocked by Shaq.
And the aggressiveness on display here from O'Neal. Terrific at turning shots away with that size and length.
He gets that one.
Oh, this is the kind of start they were hoping for.
Now a timeout called by Memphis. They defeated the Pelicans in their last game.
Well, it's easy to score when you're facing very little resistance. That's why their offense looks so good in that one.
But you also got to give credit to the offense, too. I mean, they exploited every hole they saw in the defense.
And some changes here for the Celtics. Green comes in for Pierce. Robinson is subbed in for Ray Allen. And that'll be Memphis as it goes out of bounds. Grizzlies retain possession. Let's go to the 2K leaderboard. Here are the team leaders in steals. You need to play heads up against these squads. The Grizzlies 4th.
You can't get careless with the basketball against this group. I mean, they'll pick your pocket, and no surprise to see them in the upper echelon as far as steals.
The pass to Mayo. Rondo with the steal. Softly drops in the floater. And it's a 10-point Celtic lead.
Defensively, they've been a step slow here to start.
Bill, defenders are doing a better job of challenging the shooter from the side so they don't foul and don't step into that landing space when he comes down from shooting.
Yeah, I don't like the landing space. And all that that stuff like
Well, what would you call
load management. We have all these phrases now. It's like, how did these phrases come in my life?
load management is interesting.
Load management's the worst. Where did that start?
I don't know.
Can we just play
I
basketball?
just like work. Yeah, just rest. Just go
What's the
rest.
thing they call when the guy travels, but they say it's not? It's like he's gathering the ball. That's
Yeah,
another one.
gathering the
I never
ball.
said gathering
What
the
do you
ball in my life until 2 years ago. Enough with the weird phrases.
Yeah. And the Celtics with possession here. Grizzlies making the shot. And they double up Rondo. Robinson for three. A rebound by Gasol. Gasol's got 4 rebounds in this game. Vasquez with it. He's picked up by Rondo. Battier kicks to Vasquez. It's back to Battier. No good on the three. Boston leading by 8. Outside Rondo. Out to the wing. Here's Garnett. Boston again missing.
Oh, their movement is good, and they get the ball into the right hand. Now, usually he drops those in between jumpers.
Mayo drives in, lays it up off the glass.
He'll take advantage of that kind of soft defense every time. Just give him a chance to attack the basket, and he will.
Offside Rondo. To the inside. Stolen by Randolph. And here we go. The Grizzlies on a fast break. Mayo's running. Vasquez, that's good.
Oh, great flow to that possession. Two players totally in sync with each other.
So the Celtics called timeout. Their first. Their last game a win against the Lakers. Looking. And a little under 3.5 minutes elapsed in the second quarter of play. Here's the pass to Rondo. Rondo is doubled. Celtics passing it around. And he gets it to go. Allen's got 5 now. Bill, if you were building a franchise from scratch, which one current player would you begin with or build around?
Probably Giannis, because he's turning 25 this year. I still feel like the ceiling of what he's going to do is go up as he becomes more of a shot maker. He's really durable, which I think is underrated. Like, he's just built to play basketball. There's certain guys like that. I think Kevin Garnett was like that. Tim Duncan was like that. Just guys who you just know are going to be around for 17, 18 years. The way I like to watch the running styles, and the game just comes so easy to him, and he's so athletic and really cares and is really competitive and just wants to do this and win at basketball. That's how I think.
Garnett out there with Shaquille O'Neal. Then there's Allen. And it's Pierce. And it's Rondo in at the point. That's the Boston 5. The Grizzlies shooting their first free throw attempt on the night. Allen, no good on the free throw.
And Allen, just an incredible defender. Has a grit and grind mentality and uses his speed and strong hands to just annoy offensive players.
Passes it to Randall. To the middle. Here's Conley. Score the basket. Nice shot after missing his first attempt.
What you have to give Randolph, great understanding for the game. Knows how to generate offense.
Rondo against Conley. Pass to Allen. From deep. Here's O'Neal. And that one is off. And the Grizzlies going the other way now. At the conclusion of this game, they're off to Detroit, where they'll face the Pistons. That will conclude their brief 2-game road trip. Rondo with the steal. Kicks it to Pierce. From deep three-point range. Basket is good. The assist from Rondo. Rondo's got assist number 10 tonight with that last one. Conley, the pass to Gay. Gay is double. Bill, you're a basketball historian. We know that. Do fans romanticize too much about the past?
I would say the other way. I think they don't appreciate it enough, especially like the millennials and Gen Z. You know you're out there. You're playing this game right now. They tend to think the league started when Kobe showed up and that the 90s and the 80s didn't happen. I sense a real resentment from the younger fans with the LeBron versus MJ thing because LeBron's their guy. They get to watch LeBron. They don't want to hear that MJ was better than him, so they made the case for LeBron and the way things are now.
But what about like the Oscar Robertsons, the Elgin Baylors, and we talked about, my goodness, you talk about some of these players. Unbelievable.
Yeah, the
fantastic
60s,
numbers.
70s, 80s.
Oh.
I think part of what hurts is people can go on YouTube, and when you watch some of the older stuff, nobody's playing defense.
And the Grizzlies making a change here. Gasol's checked in. Here's Conley. It's not going to go for him. Great D that time from Rondo. Grizzlies with the rebound. Gasol's got rebound number 7 for him tonight. Gay can't hit.
And just not able to find the target from three-point range here in the second quarter, although he did knock down one in the first.
The shot's good.
And you can sense that Rondo taking some pride in shredding the D with his passing, has exceptional vision.
Allen outside. He kicks to Gay. On the clock. Pass to Gasol. Knocked away. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Rondo. Let's check out the Eastern Conference standings now that we're in the new year. Taking a look at Boston. They've been in peak form as we've watched them play some tremendous basketball with an eye toward the postseason.
And, you know, for Boston, they have caught the entire league off guard. This was not a position anyone thought they'd be in at this stage of the season.
But yeah, Greg, I mean, they had a plan coming into the year. I mean, they stuck to it, and it's worked to perfection.
And they double up Rondo. Pierce inside the three-point line. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Grizzlies will take it. Bill, you study pop culture. The 2K Esports League is a phenomenon right now, which is sweeping the country. Do you think that's going to alter the perception of gaming in any way?
Yeah, I would say it has one of the best chances of any esports league to succeed because people just love basketball. And you can feel it there in the off season. The shift in basketball content and the fact that it is now a 12-month-a-year sport for us. And now it goes from the playoffs to the draft to where people going in free agency. And then that plays out for a month, and then something else will happen. All of a sudden it's August.
Summer leagues are coming up.
Summer leagues happening, and then all of a sudden the season's close, and then you just kind of recycle, and it's a 12-month-a-year sport.
Yeah, right. And with this break, why don't we check out the hottest shooting point guards over the last month? Number 1, Rajon Rondo.
And he's been even more accurate with his shooting than he's been with his passing. Just a terrific percentage from the field.
It's what makes him such a potent offensive presence. On nights when he gets hot, there's no way to guard him.
Allen kicks to Gay. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. Bill, I wanted to go back to what you were talking about with the 2K League, and you mentioned how basketball has grown into essentially a 12-month-a-year sport.
For me, a 2K Esports League just makes sense. It fits into that. I think people love the players. I think they care about these athletes, in basketball, so much more in the other sports. And for me, it's really gratifying because I've loved basketball my whole life. And for a while there, when I grew up as a kid, they were tape delaying the finals, and You know, it was like the second-tier league, and now to see how popular it is and how much people love it, it's just, I feel like I was in early. I'm sure you do too.
Absolutely. I mean, when Magic Johnson is a rookie and starting at center,
Yeah.
in Game 6 in Philadelphia, yes.
And it was tape delayed.
And it was tape delayed.
My beloved Boston Celtics won the 1981 title, and it was on tape delay in Boston, and I went to bed, and my dad woke me up to watch the game for me, and it's not even 40 years ago. So I think the other thing that really helps with the 2K Esports League is that these guys play 2K, the actual players.
Yeah, right.
They
care about it.
They care about it. They have an incredible amount of time on their hands because they're too famous and they can't go anywhere. So they're in hotel suites. They're bringing with the PlayStation or Xbox
stuff.
with me,
Right.
with them. They're playing their friends. They're playing each other online, and this is what they're doing all day.
Here's Conley. That shot, no good. And the Celtics going the other way now.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts. And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Bill, do you ever think we're going to eliminate conferences in the NBA playoff seeding?
I think that they would have done a 16-seed no-conference playoff format years ago. I think they're really worried about their travel, though. And they've looked at it, and they've really studied it, and they've looked at the effects of, let's say Boston plays Portland in round 1, and you're flying 3,100 miles or 3,200 miles in 3 time zones and all that stuff, and it's a 2-2-1-1-1 series. What is the effect on the team if it goes 7? I think they're really afraid of it. I wish they did it. I don't like the conferences. I don't really understand them. And over the course of NBA history, they've been really confused by the conferences. I wrote about this in the book of basketball, where we had years where San Antonio was playing in the East for a while, and Baltimore was in the West, which, go look at a map. Baltimore being in the West is ridiculous. Baltimore was in the West, and Philly was in the East, and they're like 50 miles away from each other.
Yeah, made no sense.
So they've never really 100% figured out the conferences, and I just think the 1 through 16 makes more sense.
It would sure be better basketball.
It would be better.
Yeah. And we've got an update here, so let's check in with David Aldridge reporting from the sideline.
Well, Kevin, tampering is a touchy subject, but it's a word we're hearing more often. Teams want to retain their star players, but they know that there's always talk during a season. Now, teams can only express interest in a player when he hits free agency. Players can talk amongst each other freely all season. Star players like LeBron James are tied into their front offices. Some people wonder if there's much of a difference between what the player says and what his team is thinking. Kevin?
Good point, David. Thank you. And always as enlightening as you're going to find. Bill, thank you so much for your insights. Always appreciate you joining us. I hope you come back.
I don't want to leave. Why do I have to go? Can I just stay here for the
I'm
rest
reading
of the
this
game?
note, and the note says,
No, I don't
thank
want to
Bill.
go. I'm not leaving.
Hope he comes back.
I'm staying.
Okay. And GA, what a pleasure to talk with Bill about this game. He brings that super fan perspective.
From a young child watching games at the Garden, and you sense he's never lost that wonder and enthusiasm.
Now, here is Young, still looking for his first bucket in this one.
That's just great touch. The teardrop, well, that's all about fear.
Rondo is doubled.
And that's the tough part of trying to keep him on the floor. Now he picks up that 3rd foul.
This is his first chance at the line tonight.
And there's no denying that Rondo is a wizard with the ball, exceptional at exploiting holes in the defense.
And so it's Vasquez. He'll bring it up for the Grizzlies. It's a 14-point game. Second shot opportunity. And now the fast break. Rondo with the ball. A flawless finish on the alley-oop. And the Celtics lead by 16.
And that is a shot that Green knocks down consistently. The defense has to try harder to contest him from there.
And that would have counted, but his shot was off the mark this time. And so it's Boston with a sizable lead as the quarter wraps up. They're ahead 16 points. They've been putting on a clinic in the paint. Shots are falling with regularity, and they are pounding it down low. Right back after this break.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the 2K Sports halftime program. I'm Ernie Johnson alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Boston had no problems getting going. Tenacious on both ends of the floor, they took command early with a 13-2 run. After a solid quarter of play, they held a 10-point lead. Then in quarter number 2, they actually increased their intensity to pull further out in front, finishing with a double-digit advantage. And that'll do it for us. The third quarter about to begin with Kevin Harlan standing by. We'll catch you on the flip side, my brother.
And after a very lopsided first half, we'll see if things play out a little more evenly here in the second. It's been quite a game for Rudy Gay.
No problems fighting his way to the rim in this one. A lot of points in close.
Yeah, slicing through the gaps in the defense. I mean, getting many of his buckets in the paint.
Chris, you know a little something about that power forward position. Who do you think will be the best at that position in let's say 3-5 years from now?
Wow, it may be who's the best at that position now will continue to be, and that's Anthony Davis. He can do it all. He was a point guard in high school. And what that gave him was ball handling skills, lateral quickness, and a mentality of a small guy. And we all want that as big fellas, that mentality, because you have the height. You just need to believe that you can do it on all ends of the floor. And he can do it defensively, offensively. He can coach. He can be your trainer as well, get guys healthy. I think AD could do it all.
Good explanation. Well, we've got a moment. Let's set the floor. Brought to you by Gatorade. All fueled up for the second half. So on the floor for Memphis, Tony Allen is out there with Conley. Then there's Rudy Gay, and it's Marc Gasol, and it's Randolph in at the power forward.
Well-rounded effort, and they show no signs of letting up.
Yeah, and it hasn't just been the offensive output. They're putting in the work at the defensive end as well.
Solid rebound there, and with the score like it is, that's an area where they can't afford to get lazy.
Down low, Garnett, and it's slammed in by Garnett.